What's up guys, Nathan here, and today I'm going to teach you how to never lose at poker again. Just do this, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so in all seriousness, nobody wins at poker all the time. It doesn't matter if you're the best poker player in the world. However, if you follow the simple 3-step process that I'm going to give you in today's video, I think you're going to at least start winning more consistently at the poker table. And I'm also going to walk you step by step through an example hand in the second half of this video to help illustrate this strategy much better for you. All right, so let's get started. Tip number 1 to never lose at poker again is to only play the top 20% of hands. Guys, what you need to understand about why most people lose at poker is the biggest reason why they don't have success is because they play a lot of trashy hands. You've probably seen some of these people at your poker table before playing hands like 10-7 offsuit, King-6 offsuit, Jack-8 offsuit. And by the way, throughout this video, when I say offsuit, I'm referring to hands that are two different suits. For example, 10 of hearts, 7 of clubs. If it was suited, it would be a hand like 10 of hearts and 7 of hearts. So I'm going to give you a chart here. I would suggest only playing the hands in red on this chart. And as you can see, this literally is the top 20% of hands. And if you play 6 max online, these are the hands that I would suggest. So this is going to include all pocket pairs, almost every single Broadway hand. A Broadway hand, by the way, is a hand with 2 face cards, 10 and above in them. All suited aces, all offsuit aces down to ace-9, and a couple suited kings and 1 or 2 suited connectors as well. Overall, pretty tight. And I would actually suggest if you play live poker in a casino or you play online in a 9 or 10 player game, I would actually suggest only playing the top 15% of your hands. Now why? Why do we play such a tight range? Because guys, you want to have a mathematical edge when you enter the pot. You want to have the odds in your favor. So if you have a hand like ace-king, for example, and somebody else has a hand like ace-3, you are already close to 80% to win the pot versus that hand before we even go to the flop. So this is why it is so massively important to just give yourself that head start always before the flop in poker. Let's move on to point number 2, and that is to understand your table position. Guys, this second biggest reason why people lose at poker is because they don't understand the positions at the poker table and how that massively affects their winnings. Guys, it is a statistically proven fact that you are going to win much more in poker. In fact, the majority of your winnings will come from 2 seats at the poker table. As you can see on your screen there, those are the button and the cutoff. The button is the seat at the poker table with the dealer chip in front of you, and the cutoff is the seat directly to the right of that. You want to play the majority of your hands from these positions. Everything on that chart that I just showed you, and even some more hands. And at the other seats of the poker table, early position, middle position, small blind, and big blind. By the way, I'm just using a 6 max chart here for the sake of simplicity. If you play in a 9-player poker game, there's of course going to be a few more seats. But if you're playing in these other seats, EPMP, SB, or BB, you want to limit the amount of your hands. Maybe some of the crappier hands on that chart that I just showed you, don't play them from those seats. Hope you guys get the idea. You want to be heavily biased playing the majority of your hands from the button and the cutoff. And let me actually explain why. The reason why is because you get to act last on the flop, turn, and river, meaning that you get to see what your opponents do first, which allows you to get more value bets in. We're going to talk about right in a second here. Get more bluffs in, or even fold your hand and save money. Guys, when you get to see what everyone else does before you in poker, you are in the driver's seat. You have all the odds in your favor. Once again, just like choosing to play only good hands, when you set yourself up to win like this, ensuring that you have position in the hand as often as possible, it's just going to lead to more success for you at the poker table. All right, so let's move on to point number 3 to stop losing at poker, and that is to make the fish pay every single time. Let's give you an example here. And the biggest reason why, guys, is because one of the biggest keys to your success at the poker table is winning the maximum every single the time with your good hands. They don't come around very often. Let's give you an example right now. So you raise up ace king offsuit, ace of hearts, king of spades in middle position, and a fish, one of these recreational players who plays a lot of crappy hands like we talked about before, calls you on the button. So we're going to be out of position in this hand. We're going to be acting first, but in this situation our hand is just so strong. Ace king is one of the best hands in the game that it doesn't really matter. We're still going to be at a big advantage in this hand because we have one of the best hands in poker. So the flop comes down very generously for us with a king of diamonds, 8 of spades, and 4 of diamonds. So what should you be doing in a spot like this, guys? Well, a lot of people will make the mistake of slow playing or maybe betting some tiny little amount. Say the pot's $10, they'll just bet $2 or $3. Don't want to scare them off, however. Guys, I'm going to be the contrarian here, and I'm going to say no. Instead, you should smash the pot button. Bet 80% of the pot, so $8 if the pot was $10. I talk about this in my first book, Crushing the Micro Stakes, how this is why I was able to create some of the highest winnings of all time in low stakes online poker games. In fact, with win rates that were literally orders of magnitude above the second and third and fourth place winners in the games that I was playing in, and it's because of what I'm going to teach you right now in this hand. Bet $8 into $10 here. If you're up against a complete maniac fish who never folds his hand, bet $15 into $10. Bet $20. You guys get the idea. Don't bring this slow playing, this checking or betting small amounts versus recreational players. Let's move on to the turn here and see how the hand plays out. Turn comes with a 3 of spades, putting another flush draw on the board. You guys already noticed there was a diamond draw on the flop there. Now there's a spade draw. We still have top pair, top kicker in this situation. Again, a lot of people will get tricky here. They'll try to check, they'll bet a small amount. This is what a lot of coaches are sadly teaching these days. And again, guys, in my humble opinion, this is just simply not the optimal strategy at all against recreational players in low stakes games. No, once again, you should be smashing the pot button. Bet 80% of the pot again as a default here. Once again, if it's a complete maniac fish who will not fold anything, just overbet. The river comes down with a 3 of clubs. All of the draws missed. The diamond draw didn't get there. The spade draw didn't get there. There was a couple gut shot straight draws on the flop, maybe a 7-6, something like that, a 6-5. Neither of those hands got there as well. We're still beating all value hands. We beat king, queen, king, jack, king 10, king 9. If they had 8-4, which recreational players will play, hope you guys see that we also beat that hand now because we have kings and 3s counterfeiting their 2 pairs. So what should you be doing in a spot like this? Again, the common knowledge is to just check or make a tiny little bet. Don't scare them, try to get a call. No, guys, just go all in. That's literally my advice. What I've been talking about for 10-15 years on my poker blog. I teach that in my free poker cheat sheet, which will be the top link in the description below. You can read that for more. This is literally how I was able to create some of the highest winnings of all time in low stakes poker games online. It's a little bit of an unorthodox strategy, but I found that it worked pretty well for me. So guys, try these tips out in your poker games. Let me know how they work for you. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and also, once again, grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet, and that'll give you my entire strategy, including charts on what hands to play in every single poker game. That'll be the top link in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will catch you next time.